What's up, everybody, and welcome
Wow, a snap, not even a clap.
to the reality kingdom. We're with the really reality or whatever.
The
The
beat goes
go-
on and on and on and on.
clap. Welcome back to the reality kingdom. We put the really reality or whatever. Period. I'm your host Pharaoh. This is Lee. We just watched the challenge. It was boring.
Don't do that. Yeah, me and Pharaoh said we're gonna start taking shifts. Last episode, I didn't talk. This time, Pharaoh won't talk. So at the beginning of this episode, it starts off with
You got it.
I actually don't. I actually don't.
Damn.
That's the thing.
No, okay, y'all. It's the show. I don't think the show itself. This is what I realized this episode. I watched it. I was like, okay, this was average. I don't think the episodes are of the challenge are bad when they're in a vacuum. If you take this out and you put this in a piece, it's like, oh, this was just mid. You know, it was mid. It occurred. There was an elimination. There was a daily ABC. It's just after I watched 14 episodes of the same format, and now I'm on the 15th episode. Mind you, 15 episodes.
They switched it up.
Right. 15 episodes is, what is that? 3 months. 3.5. 3.5 months.
Actually, 16 weeks because we skipped Thanksgiving.
Ooh, 4, 8, 12, 16. 4 months. So I've been watching 4 months the same people, and this format, they did switch the format, but this format has been going on for the last a month and a half, and I'm just not gagging. Like, I just need more. I feel like if they're gonna have an hour and 30-minute episode, episodes, I don't understand why they would just do one person eliminations. Like, I feel like it doesn't make any sense in this new era, now that they have 90-minute episodes, for them to only have one person go home. That makes no fucking sense to me.
Yeah.
And now that they're doing it, it's like I've been bored.
I want to know the strategy behind doing it, because I'm like, y'all barely give views, and don't get in the comments saying, oh, it's because MTV. I understand it. Regardless, they're not getting no motherfucking views. Okay. Every show I watch, whether it's on a local channel or not, get more than 600,000, 300,000. You know, the girls aren't watching for real. Let's just be honest. They used to have a huge audience. MTV fell the fuck off around 5 years ago, and it hasn't been eating since.
Mm-hmm.
No one's watching this shit. So I'm just curious as to why make it so long. Like, how are they gaining revenue? It doesn't seem like they would be. Like, they have to afford.
Are they gaining revenue?
They have to afford to pay the cast members, pay the production, pay for a house, pay for the country. How are they able to do all of that? At this point, is MTV like a money laundering thing? Like, I'm so curious, because you would think they would be thinking of strategies to try and get people more interested, and having the show go on for 19 months isn't going to do that. And I think quite literally the issue is that it lasts too long, because this season I was enjoying myself for a while.
I was too.
For a while, and now I'm just like, we're still doing this?
Like, why are we not
We're
at the
still
end?
here? We're really still here?
I really think that here you go, Rudy. We still here, yeah. Woo! Like, for the fans, I'm sorry, y'all. You know, we're not naturally innate challenge fans, so it's not just gonna come out of the ass.
Don't even say we, because I was, baby. I was. The challenge was one of the first reality TV shows I got obsessed with. It brought me into the real world, and I loved all of it. I really did, and it got bad.
Yeah, it did.
And I originally said it got bad when they brought in the UKs. I've now went back and watched World War I and World War II, and Total Madness. It wasn't that area. It was the double agents, spies, lies, and allies. Once they did the whole D thing, they came back and was like, we're done. So now it's like, the way it's set up, they don't want to show any drama. It's edited weird. It lasts too long, and it's boring.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the main thing for me, at least, is that it lasts too long, because I feel like if I was binge watching this season, the high I had from the first, like, 10 episodes, I don't think it would have went away so fast if it hadn't been, you know, week after week after week. I have to wait, and then I'm waiting past Thanksgiving, and now I'm here. Like, it kind of makes me drag. And since they're making this show a television program, they need to make sure I stay tuned in throughout the weekly drops. This binge, I feel like it wouldn't be, you know, I feel probably would have gotten like tired, but I would have had so much less time to have watched it. It wouldn't have took so long. So I was like, oh, it was fine. They kind of slowed down, but I still loved it. Yay. But now I'm feeling like I'm going to leave the season like, damn, what the fuck did I waste my time doing? And I don't want to feel that way because I really enjoyed the first half. But hey, we're here. I'm still here. I think it's fine. I think it's cute. Let's just hurry up and get to the final. No shade. And the fact that there's still, I think, 3 more rounds to the final because there's 5 men left and 6 women. So a woman has to go, a man has to go, and then a woman has to go again. Then we're at the final. You telling me it takes 4 episodes from now till I get to the final? What the fuck? It just doesn't make sense. I hate that they drag it, but we move. Corey, last round, he won the elimination.
My king.
Jenny,
3-0.
3-0. Period. A king, my man. And he noticed us, Lee.
Girl, y'all. Corey liked one of our tweets. So there will be no more Corey slander. I think Corey plays the game well every single season.
But he does, though.
It's these bitches that don't have no loyalty, have no trust, have no backbone, that continuously play in his face. Corey will win a challenge season one day, and he is going to share the money with us.
Yeah, but it's not even that, Lee. It's not even, fuck all of that other stuff. Even with the bitches playing in his face, he makes it to the final constantly. He's always there. They rig these finals. I've watched Tori and Devin get rigged with the final, like live. Like they genuinely don't want him to win. I don't know if it's because
I think it's a production thing. No, think about
it's a production.
It's
thing.
Probably TJ when you really think about it.
So he has a friendship with Jordan, with Banana. I'm not surprised. Corey's not that type of nigga to go suck TJ dick. Them niggas, you know what? Johnny Bananas is probably rubbing TJ foot when the cameras are not rolling.
Y'all, why did the foot fetish come back this episode?
What is
somebody on production is in cahoots with Bananas, and they both weirdos with foot fetishes? Because why do we keep seeing feet, and why do we keep seeing Bananas?
We don't fetish shame, Lee.
We don't fetish shame. Because if Corey, told me to do some things,
if he said rub my feet, Blackie.
Blackie. Where Blackie come from?
If he said rub my feet, would you do it?
Of course.
Okay. He said suck on my toes.
Well, we're already here.
Yeah, Corey could say, let me shut up. So the targets were
crazy. I didn't know you were going to say something crazy.
Yeah. Corey targets Jenny, Michelle, and Aviv because he wants to rekindle this thing that he has with Cara Maria, or kindle this thing he has with Cara Maria and keep this thing with Tori kind of cute. And that's basically what he does. And we see at the beginning of the episode, he talks to Cara and he's like, girl, I told you I wasn't gonna talk to you. I told you we can link up. And Cara was like, yes, let's link up. Is Cara a little, does it take Cara some time?
To what?
To there's a word I want to use, but it's inappropriate. Is Cara, she's a little ditzy, right?
I would say so. I think she gives me I don't want to say Taurus energy, but I just know a lot of the Tauruses in my life I see are very ditzy. And while she is this comp beast, she's always been ditzy to me. Even especially when she came on Fresh Meat, when she wasn't that good at the challenges.
Cara Maria zodiac sign.
She's a Taurus?
Girl.
It all makes sense. Never mind. Yeah, no, she's definitely just a Taurus. She's a Taurus.
That's crazy. You clocked the
now everything make her beef with Laurel.
What's Laurel? Aries.
And Aries. Everything makes sense. Everything.
It's
they're
weirdly attached. Love each other.
They're weirdly attached to each other, but they stay dragging each other. Literally, I have a real life situation with that exact same pairing.
Yep.
And it's crazy. Yes,
that's actually insane. Child, let's move. So the reason I asked that is because she just seems ditzy, honestly, because even this whole Corey thing, Corey told her last episode, he was like, you're not my number one. You'll be my number one if somebody leaves or somebody do something to me, but you're not my number one right now. And then who was it? Rachel put him in and he was like, oh, okay, you can be my number one now. Or yeah, whatever happened. And Carmen's like, oh, yay, I'm your number one now. And it's like, what? That's all it took.
But at the same time, I feel like I could also see where Cara was like, oh, okay, be nice. And then, I don't think Cara necessarily gives a damn about the relationship. She just needed to get further in the game because she don't got nobody else really.
No.
And this is the first time they've worked together and they've played, I think, every season together.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's crazy. So they're working together, and then we see he does the same thing with Tori. He goes to Tori, they talk, and Tori's like, I'm so grateful that you didn't choose me. Thank you so much. And I wanna make sure I reciprocated, and da 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 da. She has a diary room, and she's like, me, Corey, Jordan, and Kara can kind of like link up because now me and Kara are best friends. Finally, we never been friends. We kind of been enemies. Now we're friends. And I got Jordan, and now Corey can kind of be in on this, and we can kind of be a thing. I like this.
But one thing she did say is that she'll have Corey's back unless it's versus Jordan.
As long as it's not against Jordan.
So she really
That's all you could ask for.
I guess. But I feel like if there's a situation where she does choose Jordan over Corey gonna be like, why didn't you?
He cannot be mad about that.
He would. He would though.
We know we're not.
He a Pisces. I'm a Pisces girl.
Okay, yeah, it's cute.
We got the same birthday, so I know how my man feels emotions because I feel the emotions the same way.
Yeah, there you go. We go to the daily. The daily, we see it's something that I would never do. They have to crawl into these tight ass. To me, they're tight. I guess to other people they wouldn't be tight, but it's these tunnels, these cave-like tunnels, and they have to crawl, find a puzzle, solve a puzzle in the tunnel, crawl out of the tunnel, solve another puzzle outside of the tunnel, and then it's timed, and they go one by one. So the person with the lowest time ends up winning, and two people with the highest time are going to be. The girl is going to be last, and then the boy is going to have a penalty next round, and the girl is automatically going in. So this was something I would never do. I would have told TJ, I'm not doing it. You just got to give me a penalty. I'm moving forward because I do not like tight spaces. I do not like caves. None of that. You can keep all of that personally. So it was a no for me. Johnny Bananas, he times out because he can't figure out the puzzle. I'm like, sir, are you okay? What's wrong with you? I don't understand. Rachel also timed out at the puzzle.
It was so funny with Bananas because the whole segment is like we're watching him do the whole puzzle, and then he gets to that end puzzle, and it's like he could not figure that out.
He could not figure it out, and it was like on the other side of the puzzle there were other images of the puzzle pieces. He had to flip it over basically so he could understand it, but he thought they were all on the same side, and it's like, baby, you got to look around. You got to look around. Now, Lee, when Aviv goes, what happens?
First of all, I want to say with Aviv, she's so damn short that she running upright in the cave. Like it's no issue for her. And then she comes across these big ass branches, clearly blocking out the space.
With an X.
Busts past that and just running. And then she gets out from some other side and she is just running. And it's so amazing race coded. The way they just let her run. It's so sad because she's just going and going and going and nobody's saying shit. And she's just running. Like she basically got her steps in that whole challenge because she wasn't actually doing it.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
But even in the tunnel, it seemed like she was just being so sporadic. Like she was running real quick in that tunnel.
Mm-hmm. I think it was like her, because I think, what's her name? Michelle told her before the challenge, she's like, just try to act like you don't have the target, because if you don't have the penalty, because if you act like you have the penalty, you're gonna get scared, and you're gonna get shocked, and you're gonna work too hard. And I think she was just like, I gotta beat this penalty. I have to get a good time, but it needs to be even better because I have this penalty. So she was just sporadic, like you said. So she ends up getting disqualified. Rachel couldn't finish the puzzle. It was a lot going on. But eventually, we saw that the winners were Tori and Kyland. This is like both of their fourth time winning the daily. Like Tori and Kyland are the new faces of the challenge, I fear.
Kyland is definitely making a name for himself. Girl, did you see that video of Nehemiah talking about some?
Yes.
Kyland, I don't know. He had some weird tendencies, and he explained a situation where like apparently Kyland would compliment Nehemiah, and then Naya would tell Nehemiah these things, and Nehemiah was like, I just don't understand why Kyland wouldn't tell me directly. I really hope there are more examples other than that one, because someone complimenting you via a third party isn't something to get mad about. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was confused.
Now, I know a lot of things on the challenge are edited out, so I don't want to give a full opinion because, the girls was dragging us with horror shit, and y'all know that shit wasn't right. So I don't know what it really gives, but I'm just thinking, I know Colin from Big Brother. I know Colin can be annoying, and he can also be brutally honest, but a lot of that comes from, he speaks about it, his autism, his ability to naturally just communicate with people. So I feel like I'm interested to see, like, did he hear something else? Did he say something else? Like, because that interview with Zach, I'm like, why is he so pressed?
From what I understood from it, it seemed like Nehemiah felt that Kylan was like slimy. Like the way he was explaining it, he was like, yeah, why wouldn't he do this? And he was trying to do this behind my back. I think he just is, I don't know if he's leeching off of other people's opinions of Big Brother players or maybe of Kylan, but it seemed like he felt like Kylan was being slimy and he preferred him to be straightforward with him because he's not that type of nigga. He's like, if you're gonna come to me like a man, and why are you going to this girl and telling her? Like, I feel like that's fake. That's the energy I got from it, was like he felt like Kylan was like being fake with the way that he was approaching his relationship with Nehemiah. But we see Nehemiah replied, I mean not Nehemiah, Kylan replied, and he was like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? He was like, I hope we can be good after this because I don't know what you're talking about, honestly. So it's like, I think Nehemiah was just.
But then I know Devin also said what he said about Colin. It's like Colin got y'all. Remember, Devin was like, I don't think Colin's game is versatile, and I don't think it would be successful in other seasons. When he literally made it far in battle for the championships, he makes it far this season. He's still in the game. Literally has a chance to go to the final. So I'm like, why are y'all pressed?
Why are y'all pressed? Well, we move. So boom, Tori and Kylan win. And Aviv is automatically going in, and they just have to decide between Jenny and Michelle. The reason this format sucks is because it has been predictable every single round that it's been individual.
Yeah.
It's a very clear connection versus someone who's obviously not connected to the two every time. Yes, that's just the way that it ended up shaping up, but also they gave the power to the opposite gender. So we don't need to even worry about Tori's relationships. All we need to worry about is Kylan. So now it's less complex. So if there was a situation where Tori was closer to one and Kylan was closer to the other, it wouldn't matter because it would just be up to Kylan because Kylan can break the tie if it ties. So it's like, once again, it's very stupid. And we automatically know Michelle's not going in because Michelle and Kylan are friends.
Period.
And they've been friends all season.
And that's all she wrote.
And that's all
I think don't Tori have the final decision or something? Because it's a...
No, the boy.
Oh, the boy has a decision on the girl.
So it's very, very, it's even more relevant. And that's the issue. It's like, all we need to know is who's that boy closer to. Same thing as last time Kylan was what was it? It's like it was between Naya and it was between somebody else. And it was like, okay, girl, we know who you're gonna pick. But we move.
I'm laughing because
what?
The last podcast was really 16 minutes, and now we at minute 17.
We almost done though. We go to the interrogation, which is low-key pointless because we already know who's going in, very likely. But Tori tries to be messy, so that was fun. And she's like,
he always try to like get something going. And honestly, I love when Tori get gagged back because it's so easy to gag Tori. No shade. It is so easy to gag Tori up. Tori got gagged by Alyssa from Big Brother 24, Big Brother 23.
Really?
On Challenge, remember on Challenge USA where she gagged him? She flipped Corey and they voted in the vents. Like, Tori is easily ate-upable, okay? But it's so nasty because she basically is like, yeah, I'm wondering if Bananas was down there, who do you think he would have chosen? And Jenny was like, I mean, well, this is a team effort. I wouldn't have mind getting chosen to go in because I love Aviv and we have that respect for each other. And if he was like, I actually was going to volunteer tonight. And it's like, oh, Bananas got some act right with the Angels, okay?
Them feet massages be working, baby.
They're loyal, but that's why you can't handle Bananas gameplay. You cannot, because he really goes into these seasons and fosters relationships.
Yeah.
Does he try to bully other people who do the same thing? Yes. But that's in a way helps him because it makes people feel like they can't play the game. Yeah. Like I feel like low-key, that's why Corey goes in and he does play the way he does. Because from the very beginning, these vets or these rookies are told, shut the fuck up, don't go after the vets, don't do anything, or you're gonna go home, you know? So it's like they're scared, they're traumatized. They think, let me just shut up and get to the end like the other vets. And it doesn't work the same.
It does not. So after they gag Tori, that ends. We already know who's going in because they're cool with Michelle. So Jenny's going in. And we see Kylan and Corey have this conversation.
Period.
Which caused a lot of discourse.
Black boy with the black boy.
Yeah, they talk about how it's been decades, bitch, since the last black man has won a challenge.
And that was Nehemiah, who beefing with Kylan right now.
Yep.
And what's funny is
Yep.
that they flash back to the season Nehemiah win, and it's literally TJ saying, yeah, rookies, you win by default. So yeah, y'all just had to rub it in our faces that the last black man to win on flagship was by
Was the fault.
default, and it's no shade. However, I hate that other spin-off records aren't considered, especially like different eliminations, daily wins, hell, even season wins
Yep.
aren't necessarily counted when we're talking about flagship, because literally Danny won USA won, and then
Yep.
I think the first conversation, I don't know if it was like a mishap, but there's like it's been so long since a black person in general won,
Yep.
and Desi also just won USA too. So y'all need to go watch USA, go play USA,
Go play.
renew USA, so we can get more black winners. But
Child.
yeah, the flagship version, it's sad, but also it's understandable because I can't remember a black man performing well in one of these seasons damn near ever. Usually it's the black women that make it pretty far. I
Yeah.
don't usually see black men succeed on the challenge, and I don't necessarily think it could have a little bit to do with race, you know, unconscious bias, but I
Mhm.
also just think that the challenges sometimes it's like, would the average black man be doing this? No shade.
Yeah, a lot of the average, like a lot of the black men's issues, not specifically Corey or Kyland, but like we see with Darrell, it's the heights thing, or sometimes it's like the swimming thing for some black men, like they can't swim or they're not
Or
strong
sometimes it's
swimmers.
the puzzles, and it's like,
Yeah. Which is like, it's like honestly growing up as a black person, as a black man, I don't know how to swim. Period. All these white folk, they be swimming for fun in their
they
lakes
be
behind their houses
rock
at their
climbing, they be
villas.
going swimming on their uncle's beach
Yeah.
house every summer.
Yeah. So it's
Shit.
very different. Behind their house, they can go in the lake, you know, when they go on vacation. So it is going to be a difference in the likelihood of a different race to perform, because there's a difference in the way that different races are growing up
But
and are
it's
being
actually
raised.
sad because I've seen seasons where like it's hella black people. When they're like one of these
Yes.
all-star seasons, it's like majority of the cast is black and all of
Yep.
them niggas went home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was All Stars 4. They was
It
going home
was.
like back to back to
All of them
back to
was
back.
home.
And it's like, fudge, what the hell is happening? So it is
Yep.
unfortunate. And you know, Corey and Colin were both just talking about being, you know, a black representation for the show. The
Mhm.
girls were clocking Corey down on Twitter because apparently around Total Madness, he got on Instagram Live and, you know, necessarily didn't identify as black. Now,
Mhm.
I don't know what that is. He was saying, I watched Instagram Live and he was saying that he identifies as biracial, he is black and he is white, so he can't speak for a black experience. Now, I think this is a very nuanced topic. Personally, I feel like if you are biracial, like a black mom and a white dad, or vice versa, you are black, but you also
Yep.
are white. I don't think there's a issue with, okay, if I'm talking about Corey, yeah, he's black. I'm black.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him black. If a white person
Yeah.
call Corey white, I mean, I guess you can because he's also is white. But the
Mhm.
thing is, like, what he was speaking about in that live, like, I don't want to drag him because there are a lot of black people who would prefer him to say that he's biracial. A lot of black people
Yep.
would say you should not call yourself black. And then
Yep.
there are a lot of black people who would say you should be calling yourself black. You are black.
Yep.
I think he could do what the fuck he want. I would consider him to be black.
Yeah.
But you
agree.
know, it really just depends on what you see yourself as and who you know.
Yeah, I agree. And I felt like when I watched, because I watched the video too, the whole like clip of that part of the live, and I just felt like he was specifically talking about the black experience. And he's
Yeah.
like, I can't, you know, equate my experience to the black experience because it's not the same. When I walk in a room, you know, people don't automatically get afraid. You know, all of the stereotypes, you can just apply them. And he's basically like, he doesn't have to endure all of those same stereotypes. So he doesn't feel comfortable just walking around saying that he can. You know, so that's why he would prefer to identify as biracial, but he is black. When it gets to all of that biracial black stuff, I feel like if the person wants to identify how they want to identify, let them identify how they want to identify. Honestly, you know, it just is what it is. I just feel like it's more so how other people are gonna take what he's saying.
Yeah.
Me, I didn't take that offensively. I didn't even take that as him not wanting to be black. I do think there are situations where I feel like, oh, this person seems like they want to denounce the whole culture. That is not the energy I got from that at all. And nothing he really has done has shown me for him to have that energy ever. So I honestly don't see the problem. Like, yeah, he made a comment. It could be taken out of context, or it could be taken negatively by some people, but the intention and the way that he moves is not necessarily in that way. Now, some people might say, "Oh, he married," so there's when other conversations
that's the thing. I mean,
to happen,
there
and
were clips of Taylor suffering around saying the
so,
N-word and
so it does get places, and there's places where I might think something, and there's places where I might not. Do I prefer him to be dating Taylor? I prefer him to be dating me, a black man. So,
and me personally, I've been dating him since Real World Explosion. So I mean, I just
let's
feel
move
like
forward.
at the end of the day, a lot of y'all don't understand what it takes to be married. A lot of y'all don't get what it takes to, keep your man in.
So next, of course, we have the interrogation. Oh, she gagged him. Blah, 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 blah. We see Rachel. Rachel always has these weird ass conversations. Sometimes she does them, sometimes she doesn't. But Rachel, she goes to talk to Johnny. She tells Johnny she wants to work with Jordan. Johnny's like, if you want to work with Jordan, we move forward. I don't know why we had that scene. I didn't give a fuck. They didn't give a fuck. They didn't have nothing to show. We get to the elimination. It's this cage match. And when I saw it, I was like, ooh. And then I recalled who's going to be going in. And I told Lee, I was like, I hate that they do the physical challenges when it's an obvious, difference in capabilities. Even last round, it was like they were supposed to be able to bulldoze each other and fight until they ring the bell, when it was Corey versus Josh running down that hay bell and supposed to be, tackling each other. But I knew straight up that wasn't going to be that, because Josh has never been the type of person to be capable of matching up in a physical competition. And then we get this, and it's like Aviv is 4'11", and the goal is to get the ball out of the tall ass thing. It's like, girl, get the fuck.
That's what Justin said in the comments earlier. Like, it sucks that she got disqualified, because Jenny versus Rachel in this would have been so much better. Like, this could have been a really good headbanger if it had two evenly matched people. Like, the entire time I'm watching, it's like, yeah, Aviva's scrappy and she's doing the best she can, but it's like, girl, she's not winning.
Yeah, and it's not because she's not good at the challenges. It's because this was one where they needed to have an equalizer, I fear.
Yeah.
And which is the issue. And it's like, there are ways to equalize stuff like this, but it's difficult when it comes to the physical parts, because it's like, what you gonna do, really? Like, I'm not coming up with it, and I know they too lazy to come up with it, so they're not gonna come up with it. They're just gonna have them throw the ball at the thing. But it's just not. It's really not entertaining to watch like such a disadvantaged challenge. So I wasn't gagging. I was kind of bored. I knew Jenny was winning. Jenny won. We moved forward, and here we are. No shade.
And then, of course, we go to picking the targets, which is also just as boring as picking who's going in, because we know the size of the house at this point. Like, one of the good things I guess they did this season was explain the size of the house well. Maybe because it is such a split house. I don't think we usually get split houses the way this one is split down the middle, but the format ruins it. And I just wish, like, it doesn't, like I said, like, what does the MTV, the challenge producers strategy to make this show better, to get more people involved? Because I feel like someone should have been on the scene like, okay, well, we have to stop this twist, because the way the house is set up, it's not going to work. It's like, instead they rather just have episode after episode after episode of nothing.
Yeah. And once again,
or like, honestly, all of this could be resolved if they just go back to fucking 40 minutes. Like, y'all don't need 90-minute episodes, period. Or any show that is doing 90-minute episodes, they need to start going back to 60 minutes when they get to the halfway mark. That goes for Amazing Race, Survivor, now the challenge. No show needs to be 90 minutes when there is single digits left in the game.
Yeah. I was telling Lee, or I was trying to explain it, Lee, but I'll explain it again. I feel like if you're going to be 90 minutes, there should be less episodes. It shouldn't be more episodes and 90 minutes. This could have been 90 minutes for 10 episode season, where two people were going, a man and a woman was going home every round. Then the season would have been done at like episode 11, and we would have been at the final at episode 11 if they would have just taken out men and women on the same episode and kept it 90 minutes. Because now we're seeing two different situations, two different dynamics. We're seeing two different people go in. We have to see two different eliminations. So now the 90 minutes makes sense. It just doesn't make sense when it's such a like simple thing happening. You have all these random scenes, all this dead air. It just, I wasn't gagging. But Jenny ends up choosing, I mean, shit, it's only 5 options, but she chooses Jordan,
Corey,
everybody but Bananas.
Yeah,
literally.
And she couldn't do Kylan.
She couldn't choose Kylan, and she wasn't choosing Banana, so she chose everyone else. And it's like, that's boring. Like, I'm so bored. Like, I'm so bored. Like, I'm literally so bored. But
I'm so curious because I don't want to continue to be a negative Nancy. Is there someone watching that's like, oh, I'm loving this? That's also watching us. Like, get in the comments, get in the live chat. Let us know if you're actually enjoying yourself, because I would love to hear what you find enjoyment, like genuinely, not even trying to be shady. I want to know, because I'm really curious to see how many people are actively enjoying this part of the season. Because I feel like every challenge season has this section. Sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's longer, but it's like, wow, we're really still here.
Lee, I just figured out how they could have made this twist work.
What?
Maybe not work, but hear me out. You can make anybody a target. The last place man and the last place woman are vulnerable to go in. Depending on who the tribunal chooses, a man or a woman, is going to depend on what type of elimination is. So she could have made Aviv, Derek, and Jordan a target. If they chose Aviv, since Michelle got last, Aviv and Michelle, you're going down. If they chose Derek at the tribunal, Derek and Corey, you're going in. So that way, it's like you don't have to stick to these 3 options.
Yeah.
Now you can choose from everyone. Fuck. Because I think the issue is they only have limited options. And then once you start the round off knowing when they changed the twist and everyone knew you have to make relationship with all the boys or make relationship with all the girls, it simplified it. Yeah. All you had to do was make 7 relationships. And now you know
that's what Banana did. Banana literally has an alliance with all women because they're the ones deciding his fate. Yeah. He's not working with any man and don't have to.
And don't. But we move. Those are the next targets. There you go. That's it. Now we know who the options are to go. That's another thing. It's boring. One of them 3 are going home. Kylan can't go home next episode.
That's the main thing. Like, at first it was kind of interesting, but now that we're so close to the end, it's like we know it's one of these 3 people. It's like, ooh, that's not
fun. There's no ambiguity. There's no like room for me to be.
Comments are sending me. Darren said, I don't watch the show, to be honest. Just show recaps. Real. And see, Gymnast 19, this is shocking. Just happy we're done with Battle for a New Champion. That was trash. I saw a lot of comments saying Battle for a New Champion was actually refreshing. So it's like, I don't like, even the audience is split. Yeah. And hell, we all still here. So clearly somebody watching it.
Well, I'm here for, a job.
This isn't a job to me. Let me stop. I don't like the challenge that enough. I will say, if I wasn't recapping it for the podcast, I probably wouldn't be watching it.
I definitely wouldn't be watching.
But I do love that we have a podcast because we can just at least drag it. And I like dragging it weekly. It's kind of fun to eat them up a little bit.
So we'll be back next week to drag again. Make sure y'all tune in next Thursday to get into that drags or whatever. Now, if you're a challenge fan and you don't watch our other podcasts, let me tell you real quick, because you might not know. There are some people who are here for the challenge, surprisingly. We do have a new segment coming up soon in... I thought it was on the screen. We do have a new segment coming up soon in January 1st, where we will be going back and watching a lot of old classic reality shows. We want to make this interactive. We want you guys to kind of choose the shows that we're covering and stuff. So it would definitely be fun if you guys tune in with us. Join us on Twitter, the community. We made a community for Reality Rewind. You can kind of interact with us for it. It'll be definitely, if you're a challenge fan, this is for you, because there's a lot of MTV reality shows, bitch. Yeah. Like, there's a lot. Like The Real World, we could go back and watch. We could go back and watch old challenge seasons, literally any show. But there are MTV options. So if you guys are interested, definitely tune in. It will be launching January 1st. The first show we're doing is a little secret, but from there on, you guys have the power, okay? Thank you. Also, tune in every Wednesday. We will be covering the last 2 episodes, the 2 finale episodes of Survivor. And then, that's it until January. January, a bunch of shit's coming, so tune in until January. And thank you for keeping it real with the kingdom, baby. We out.
Wow.